of sight, where we all glow into new flow. Sunset spilling out, light leaks on the pavement. Shadows blacking out, punk rock and pagan, dancing like the dead, stepping on the sky, heart like gasoline. I am your man. Black holes in your eyes, hiding from nothing. Symbols in the skies, something is coming. Can't come back, you dead man on the dance floor, pulsing through your blood. Get ready for the new goal. Dancing like the dead, stepping on the sky, heart like gasoline. Dancing like the dead, stepping on the sky, heart like gasoline. Dancing like the dead, stepping on the sky.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Extra Socks. Are you sick of losing socks while doing your laundry? Do you have an entire drawer full of single socks? Then call Ed's Extra Socks. Ed sells socks one at a time in various stages of wear, so you can always find socks to match the ones you have left. That's Ed's Extra Socks, regular or with extra holes in your grocer's freezer.
There's an industrial ruling class on this planet. They own democracy. They own socialism. They own fascism. They own communism. They own it all. And they have us quarreling about which one is better than the other. Which vampire is the best?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
Do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. Do not claim to know the ultimate truth about fire. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm the void one.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
All broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void live here on the Fringe FM, fringe.fm, the infamous radio station that's been around town since 2015, 2016, also live on YouTube and Kick and Twitch, and we're still pushing it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a full broadcast tonight, but I'm going to try because I promised you guys some stuff from yesterday. So whether you're catching it live or not, well, I'm going to dig into some biblical stuff here, man. What's up, Michael? As promised. It's gonna be different though. Like I'm gonna take a magical approach. If you haven't noticed, not a magical, sorry, a mystical approach to this tonight. All right, but if you haven't noticed, I've been kind of being more human here lately with you. The reason why is because I'm going through another one of those weird stages, man, where I'm starting to get freaking angry and I don't like it. I think it's just lack of sleep. Let me just be frank with you real quick, okay? I miss the old Facebook. Like, I used to love Facebook. I've talked about this. I'm getting to the point where I'm about to nix it, and I'm not. You always hear that from people. I'm done with it, you know. But it's like a fight. And this new AI thing came out today. It's like an AI search engine. You guys remember when Facebook, they told us that they were doing experiments on us. They were trying to influence our mood. They admitted it. So you don't think they're going to do it again. But today, man, like, I searched absolutely nothing. So I know this thing is being run by algorithms and AI and all this stuff. And it's just meme after meme after meme after meme after meme after meme of sadness. And I got betrayed. I got played. I got this. I got that. Or these statements of, and it's not like, look, it's good to express yourself. I do it. But like, I just feel like people are so disempowered. Kind of like what Genevieve was saying yesterday when she called in. People are being so disempowered in a sense that I think it's being done on purpose. I honestly do. There's so much content floating around out there. It's easy for a medium to take, whether it's Facebook. I don't know if YouTube's done it or not, but and just start putting all this stuff out there. I don't even know like the legal terms, like what I can do or can't do, or if my stream's going to get shut down. But I've got to like give you some examples today because it was just I went on a lunch break. I've been cutting trees. Okay, so I'm tired. Like I've gotten a couple hours sleep. I've been outside, not trimming trees, cutting trees down, like bringing them down to the ground, chopping them up, and doing all this stuff. I'm exhausted. If you can't tell, my eyes are sunk in. So, oh yeah, Jason Quitt's coming back. I guess Dennis or someone, I think it was Dennis, spread the word about what I said about his book. I hope you guys went and grabbed it. I left a link in the video to grab it if you didn't. So hopefully in a few weeks he'll be back and we'll get deeper into that. But to my point with this real quick, this is my page, right? They can't like take me down for putting stuff on my page. So I miss the cat videos. I miss the fail videos. Like I miss the stuff that makes you laugh and feel good, things like that. But I kept stumbling across things all day, and for some reason it just triggered me. I got triggered, right? I got triggered, and I was like, I'm gonna fight memes all day. If I feel like people are being hypocritical or unjustifying thing, it was like some weird rebellious last minute high school rebellion thing at me. You know, my God, it was annoying to see all this stuff. But it's not one person's fault. I mean, one person's page that's their sacred, space to like rant and say whatever. But when you go to your wall, that's where they get you, man. Like, here's this guy. Let me see if I can unmute. Let me see if I can. Hold on. See if you guys can hear this.
The way that they speak to you.
Now listen to how good this sounds. This stuff is all
feel inside of yourself. Human beings
all over
give
Facebook.
You light or give you darkness. Human beings either give you love or give you fear. Human beings are energy, and their frequency is either helping you on your journey or it's hurting you. The question for you is, why is it that so far in your life you've continuously allowed yourself to be in the presence and in the energy and in the frequency of people that knowingly hurt you? You feel it. You feel it every time you're around them. You feel it by the way that they look at you. You feel it by the way that they speak to you.
Such a good presentation.
You feel it by the way that you feel inside of yourself. It's like everything was going good and you were feeling great, and then you get in their presence and everything changes and you start to feel not as good with your own self. Maybe this is the year. Maybe 2024, you become a little less lenient with who you allow in your energy field. Human beings either give you
that
light.
kind of stuff was all over Facebook, right? If it wasn't memes of people that got betrayed and they're making big statements about themselves, which if you're living this stuff that you're memeing about, you wouldn't be memeing it. I'm not saying that, I guess speaking it into existence is good, but maybe one meme would do, and I started getting angry at people, and it wasn't people, man. It was like Facebook. I did no searching, and I don't know if it's the new AI thing or if they're doing another experiment or whatever. I did no searching, but this stuff was all up and down the wall. So I just started throwing like fun stuff, funny stuff in there, just seeing would it change it? Would it change it? Watch the videos for a little bit. I got a friend of mine, she told me, he's like, just watch the videos and it'll change the feed, like on TikTok. So I'm thinking, okay, that's what Facebook's going to do. It didn't happen. And here this guy is again. It's the new age saying of I have a bone to pick with this thing. It's a new age saying of if it doesn't serve you, get rid of them. Now all humans have become sources of energy or are based on value, and you're going to see this. You're going to see this. So this whole social engineering thing has been going on for years, before JFK, for years, okay? People are they're not going to be talked about as loving individuals with hearts and souls that have anything like that. You're going to be talked about as energy, frequencies, which you are, but hear me out, and energy, frequency, and value. If they you'll hear all these phrases, if they don't value me enough, or I'm a high value man, or I'm a high value woman, or this frequency or that frequency. Let me just tell you first and foremost, you are not a source of energy for anybody. You're not. The exact thing that this guy was saying in this beautiful presentation, basically what he's saying is if the vibes are low, just get away. We can do that in our ordinary life. But what this whole thing is happening, and I think it's a principality underneath. I'm not saying it's an alien or a freaking some kind of weird agenda. I think it's a dark principality. And I'm going to get to this here in a minute. I'm going to show some symbolism through mysticism. We're going to get into this like big metaphor here. But it's a dark mentality to start viewing you and other people as a source of exchange. That's not the same thing as love and relation. It is not. So you're getting another 90% truth about how your frequency. about how you do put off vibrations. But the big kicker here is like, you need a perfect environment of comfortability and good vibes all the time. And trust me, that's the motto of the station: high vibrations, far out frequencies, right? But what it doesn't mean is, he says this like 3 times, human beings. It sounds so manipulative to me. Human beings. Well, what is a human being? You're a dual-natured human being made up of light, dark, masculine, and feminine energy. You're not perfect. You never will be while you're in this physical body. So therefore, there will be times when you are on a ride, right? You're going to be up and down. But not anymore. Not anymore. In this day and age, you're considered a value statement. Now, this is going to go against what everybody's saying, and I don't care. I don't care. Like, to be human means to make mistakes. To be human means that you're not going to be perfect. Now, nobody wants to be around like an asshole 24/7. I get that. I don't think that's not the message here. The message here that is being pushed now is we're all, I'll say it again, measurements of exchange to each other. That's it. You're not serving me and my goals. All right? So your goals are usually, for the most part, not everybody. I would say mature people have other goals than just their career or financial stuff. But that's not what's being pushed. You're either for me or you're against me every single moment. But human beings, right? Human beings are not going to be for any one person. This is like counter narcissism, if you want to look at it this way. They're never going to be all about somebody all the time. So not only is it cast in like this kind of program that is, in a sense, vampiric, and I'll explain this, okay? But it also makes other people be like, well, no one's going to value me or have exchange with me unless I'm constantly serving them. Well, now I'm in a conundrum, because I also believe unless they're serving me, you know, I'm just going to get rid of them. I'm going to get rid of them. Imagine if we took this same thing, okay, this same principle, and treated all children this way. Toddlers from the age of, I'm not saying we're children, but let's start there. Let's start with the little babies. Are you serving me? Get out. Sound familiar? This is not spirit. This is not the Shekinah. This is not the Holy Spirit. Whatever you want to call it, this is not it, man. Things are always being pushed. Like, there's so much psyop crap, man. I don't want to get conspiratorial, but things are always being pushed to a market, to enhance the economy. So as we move into this stage of Aquarius, right, because I personally believe we're supposed to receive the divine feminine, the thing that's been hidden from us the most. I'm not a feminist by any means. I'm talking about the divine feminine that's already inside of us. The thing that we are supposed to receive is being flipped into something totally different by I don't know what, honestly. But I do know what it serves. If everybody took this mentality as human beings, the only thing that's going to, if you look at the ripple effect of it, you have to look at the ripple effect. You got to go back to Hermetics. The only thing that is going to thrive in this mentality is the economy of the percentage of people that big. That's it. Let me just say something about the feminine. Whether you're a woman or a feminine guy, I don't care. The feminine principle is the key to unlocking. And I'm going to show you guys this in like the mysteries, the mystic stuff. This isn't magic tonight. It's mystic stuff. But is the key to unlocking paradise, happiness, your spiritual ascension, the Kundalini. There's 7 different levels of this thing being unlocked. But if you can focus that energy into some kind of exchange, which has been happening for years. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, he's telling us to stay in abusive friendships and relationships. No, I'm not. There is a loving way and a right way to treat people, even when you do decide it's time to move on. This is not what's being pushed. There's a clandestine order. And when I say clandestine, a clandestine Masonic order, which means they're not really a part of the original Masons. They kind of went out and they started their own Masonic groups. There's several of them, as a matter of fact. And they're called the Order of the Diamonds or the Order of the Vampires, things like that. Now, I don't even want you to take like a negative connotation towards vampirism, because they don't. But they teach the exact same thing. Human beings are nothing other than a source of frequency and energy. That's all you are. A programmable source of frequency and energy. Now, if you don't think we're programmable, let's go back to Hollywood. When The Fast and the Furious came out, everybody wanted to race cars. When Breaking Bad came out, everybody wanted to start a criminal empire. When The Sons of Anarchy came out, everybody wanted to be a biker. You don't think that marketers understand this influencer age? Now it's all little individuals. This is all the power of it through the TV shows. This goes back to the mind virus, which is a whole nother show. I'm going to stick to the mystic stuff tonight, though. No magic, just mysticism. Magic happens underneath the moon to kind of round out or balance the square nature of yourself, the 4 elements of yourself, to learn how to exert your will in a divine sense before you surrender. So I don't want to get into this, oh, I'm a magician or I'm a mystic, or that's a polar. There is a whole process to this whole thing. I don't know if I'll be able to show it all tonight, but I'm just frustrated every time I see this stuff, man. Like, heartache is a part of life. It just is. Not being comfortable, being an asshole sometimes, not doing the right thing, making mistakes is your human nature. I'm not saying it's meant to teach you things. It's not meant as a measurement of value to other people. Where is that going? Let me go back to this thing one more time. So it's really easy to influence now in like just a really short video. We don't have to do a Fast and the Furious movie or zombies or Breaking Bad or Sons of Anarchy or whatever it is. It's just little videos now.
Is either helping you on your journey or it's hurting you. The question for you is, why is it that so far in your life you've continuously allowed yourself to be in the presence and in the energy and in the frequency of people that knowingly hurt you? You feel it. You feel it every time you're around them. You feel it by the way that they look at you. You feel it by the way that they speak to you. You feel it by the way that you feel inside of yourself. It's like everything was going good and you were feeling great, and then you get in their presence and everything changes and you start to feel not as good with your own self. Maybe this is the year. Maybe 2024, you become a little less lenient with who you allow in your energy field.
Yeah, man, it's time to like really isolate yourself, and get down to a point to where you just only have like 3 or 4 friends that are constantly validating your feelings and making sure you feel good and you're comfortable. And they're helping you push to your goal. Because after all, it's frequency and energy, human beings. This is not a mystic teaching by any sense of the word. Not Buddha. When I say spiritual, okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's going to piss people off, whatever. Buddha, Christ, Hare Krishna, whichever one, never taught this. Never. People suffer. People hurt. People are afraid. That's not going to change. You suffer, you hurt, you have fears, you're afraid. Love fixes those things. You're not taught to run from these people. You're not taught to coddle them either, but that doesn't really serve your goals, and it doesn't build the economy. It damn sure doesn't build the nuclear family and everything that works out for us, does it? I mean, meme after meme after meme of serve me, make me feel amazing and perfect all the time. Both men and women. What I'm afraid of is the influence of the feminine, because the divine feminine that we're all supposed to receive as we wake up to this force is far more loving, far more unconditionally loving, far deeper than that shit. And frankly, if you're a feminine woman, you already have this inside you. But it is not what is being taught. It's uncomfortable. If you're being abused, you need to lovingly leave. You need to forgive that person. But to look at people as you don't need, I'm not telling you what you need to do, but that's the idea, right? That's the spiritual idea. You don't need to just constantly find stuff that makes you feel good. Your emotions is one aspect of the Sphinx. Just one. You got 4. As long as we're being taught to make sure that we feel good all the time. Do you know why you have emotions? It's a guidepost for you. It really is. So you're learning to tap into your spiritual nature through your feelings. This is true. This is what manipulation at its best is. And I'm not saying this guy's manipulating people. I think this is my opinion, it's deep, but there are principalities and powers that are trying to stop this from happening. You got to isolate everybody. Everybody's got to not trust everybody. And that's exactly what's happening. On a high level. I got betrayed. I don't trust anybody anymore. Taylor Swift's album's out. It's all about all the stuff that she went through. Every freaking one of her songs. Everybody that hurt me and betrayed me and told me they would love me forever and just took advantage of me. Yeah. That's your walk. Love them to the fullest extent of your heart. But if not, then stop playing the spiritual card and get with the program of building your financial legacy. You ever wonder why the only time that Christ freaked out on people was when it was with the money changers? It's the only time. You imagine he was calm. This is the story, the mythological story, by the way. But do you imagine that he was calm when he came in there, right? He started freaking out and he was just like, I'm fine, I'm cool. Just the clinking of the coins and you guys trying to build your legacy, it was just a little annoying, but I get it. I got to be a man, right? I'm not a man until I do this. Or wait, he didn't say any of that shit. I imagine he cursed them. If it really happened. So, what's about to happen and what's coming, and I think it has something to do with this Pluto transformation that we're going through too. The only way that we're going to survive this is unconditional love. That doesn't mean you've got to coddle and be codependent with everybody. It simply means you have to open your heart, regardless of how imperfect people are or how much they're serving you or they're not. You're here to serve. You know, the spiritual idea is to be of service. To not be comfortable, to go through painful things. You know, I got a lot of respect for Jim Gale. This guy he's losing his mother, and he's looking at it as ascension. He went and done an ibogaine treatment, and he put it on Facebook, and he's crying on Facebook, talking about all this transformational stuff that he's going through. He's embracing the spiritual journey. He's embracing the death. The death of his mother, the death of the trauma of parts of him, all this stuff that he's facing with the people that he loves. I'm not advocating for stay in abusive situations. I'm just simply saying there's a gray area here, I will never try to be a freaking, I don't care if 2 people listen to the show or 20,000. I will never fall into this influencer, whatever. I won't do it. These stories. No, let me go back to the vampirism thing. I found out about these guys because once these people start getting in these occult orders, whether it's masonry or magical orders or stuff, there's actual beautiful path inside these schools that's supposed to unlock something inside them. But some people just like to be, part of this order and part of that order. It's like a status and an image thing, being served, building their legacy. And it's not just in secret societies. They do it in churches. They do it in freaking book clubs downtown. And it's another status and image thing, right?
Here we go.
So I got all kinds of stuff playing here on my computer. So I wanted to, I'm going to try something tonight, and I can't draw with my mouse. But if your heart is closed off, if you're resentful, when this energy comes into your life, and it's about to be, in my opinion, time for you to accept it. Whether Aquarius is down the road, it's now, whatever, it's coming. The energy itself is coming. And if your heart is not open to receive, which is the divine feminine, then you might burn in hell for eternity or go through the tribulation. No, but I'm just saying those things represent in a mythological fashion what you will go through. Loneliness and isolation kills people faster than a normal life. There's studies on that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was brought up kind of opposite. The golden rule kind of thing, like in what that girl says in Fallout. Think of others first. But as I came into my life, I've learned from selfish people. I've been selfish. When you get brought up and you're forced to think of others first all the time, forced, you go through lots of stuff in life to balance that out. You can become extremely selfish. The pendulum may swing to make up for it. And all this time, I never knew while I was going through these things that I was simply a measurement of energy or value to people. For some reason, I thought that some of the people that I interacted with actually loved me and cared about me. Who knew? Who knew that I was just an energy exchange? And don't give me this shit about how that's love. Energy's energy. So, this is going to look like crap. But this idea in the Western mysteries, this spirit, if we want to get back to numbers, and this is why I'm fascinated with Jason's book, and I really want to talk to him, because numbers and geometry can represent, it tells so many stories, but the same story. You can move them around, it tells the same story. We know that everything is like dual, pairs of opposites, all this stuff. That's how energy works. We know that. The push and pull between masculine and feminine is the creative force itself. It's what keeps everything moving alive. It's the ultimate cosmic bridegroom, the 2-in-1, the ultimate cosmic sexual force of everything that's creating reality. Now, you're in this massive universe where this stuff is happening all the time, but you're being taught to only go what feels good. Never be uncomfortable, ever. Never go through anything hard. Never let anybody else be hard on you. Or, I mean, if you don't feel good, if you just don't feel right. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of women that can just feel things. Or a lot of men, empaths. Let's just say people that are tapped into the feminine or the spirit or Shekinah can feel things deeper. They can walk into a room and just feel stuff. They can start talking to somebody and just know what's going on. But that's a gift. It's a gift. That means you can actually heal a person. Now, granted, when you do give an energy exchange to someone or heal them, it's going to take from your energy. We don't have to go down the occult world to tell you how to fix all that, but it doesn't mean run for your life or there's demons or whatever. I'm not denying evil or any of this stuff. I'm denying the sheer imbalance of the messages that are happening today. So let me see if I can do this right. This is going to look like scribbly. I got this little drawing thing. We're going to look at like the triangle. Let me go to the little pen. And this glowy thing. Actually, I'm going to put a triangle over here on my head. Yeah, this is like Mysticism 101, okay? There we go. There's a triangle, and there's the square. These two shapes tell all kinds of stories. These two numbers tell shapes, numbers, whatever, tell all kinds of stories. It's represented. I'm not going to go too fast here. But 3 on the tree of life is represented. The first triangle is the feminine in all its glory. And like, so the Hebrew, or I guess you could say Western religion, that's going to be the, Jehovah Elohim, the plural feminine. So you've got, can I do a mouse pointer on this? Just imagine it's coming from the top, source to father to mother, and it creates the first principle. And all of that is the divine like triad. Then you have the square, the number 4, which represents the fourfold nature of man, right? It's the riddle of the Sphinx, the 4 elements, the 4 quadrants of the zodiac, all of this stuff that represents our nature as humans. So you've got the divine trinities that's in every religion. You've got the 2 extremes. If you just draw a line, you've got 2 extremes, hot and cold and all this stuff. When you bring it together in a triangle, you got a temperature. The key is in the middle, the bridegroom thing, right? So this is what the whole feminine spirit represents. It's the first union of things, the divine feminine. I'll get into the rest of like the nature of the feminine energy as it comes down into the earth, but the divine feminine is represented by that first triangle. Creation can now happen. And in mysticism, they'll talk about it in different ways. It's father. You can just put it on, I'm not going to write it out, but you can just put it on each point, like father, mother, son, father, mother, spirit, right? Every kind of trinity there is. So when you go down here into the square, though, now we have the fourfold nature of man. And the nature of man is made up of 4 elements. If you look at them mythologically or allegorically, they represent your intellect, your emotions, your physical body, and your spirit, so to speak. If you get into magic, it's different. It's like the will, the physical body, your emotions, and your intellect and your thoughts. But the fire always represents spirit too, in a sense, right? So you don't want to get too confused here. If you correspond it with the East, this stuff all goes together. The first 4, like say the quarters or the 4 sides of the square represent the first 4 chakras of the base of your body. Then the 3 is the divine triangle that goes up to the pineal gland. That's all. This stuff you can go to like William Donahue, Himlin Beckett. All these guys have been teaching, I think Bonacci. People have been teaching this stuff forever, and we've just forgot it. We forgot it. for some reason. So the square is the first imprint of the fourfold nature of man. So in Revelations, they have like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the pale horse, the black horse, the red horse, and the white horse. And Jesus comes back on a white horse. He's not literally coming back on a white horse. It represents spirit. And 1,000 years before that, they told the same story with Hare Krishna. He comes on a white horse, in a chariot and all this stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's beautiful teaching, but the Bible itself says, be not a study of the letter. Right? Someone actually put the I don't know who it was the other day, but it was beautiful. They put the actual verse in there. Okay. I think it's and then when you get into you really start getting into the symbols of this, you're like, oh, this stuff is coded out. I think you can go to Numbers. I think it's like chapter 2 or something in the Bible. There's 4 like tribes of Israel. North is Dan, which could be emotional. The mystics have corresponded it with that. West is Ephraim. I think Reuben's in the south. And guess what? Judah represents the physical side, the lion of the tribe of Judah. There's so many cool stories and codes in the Bible that tell a whole different story even before we get down to what Jason quit's showing us in a whole other program. So there's stories within stories that have the same fundamental principle in them, right? And then once you put this together, the 3 and the 4, what do you get? You get 7. 7 is always the divine intervention. It's the divine number. Understanding this play between what's coming down from the spiritual realms into matter, where our bodies are meat and spirit. We act here on the earth, but there's a way that we're supposed to receive this spirit, and it's taught to us in allegory. Love is the mystery, okay? I'm just going to go past it and just tell you guys right now, the keys to all the mysteries is love, opening your heart. You cannot get to the Father, the little dot in your head, without going through Christ, the heart center. You have to open the heart to open the third eye. If that eye be single, the body will fill with light. Do you think when Jesus went out there and he was like, hey, cast your net to the right side, like, I'm just repeating stuff that's been being told since 2000, okay? But I guess we got to keep talking about it. Do you think when he told those guys, cast your net to the right side in order to get the fish? Oh, he was talking about being righteous. No. I guess if you want to take the nursery rhyme version, yeah, it can't be right-sided. But there's deeper meanings to it. The right side of the upper room of the temple in Golgotha, the right side is what? The feminine principle of the brain that's locked down. It is locked down. You got most women nowadays afraid to be feminine, afraid. There's so much trauma that comes out before they can just surrender. And most guys think that they're being feminine, but they're not really opening their heart. They're trying to get something out of the deal. Everybody's always trying to, you know what? I got to say this, man. Like, I went through this is a whole other story, but when you go through alchemy, you'll go through these axes in astrology. So each, you have an axis that you go through. You were born on an axis. So mine's Aries and Libra. But as you alchemize, you'll go through different axes. And you'll see this if you study all of your relationships astrology. You'll see it. You're like, oh, damn, I've been going through these like ladder steps. It's crazy how it works out. And you'll see the loving side of each sign and the dark sides, just like all the planetary energies and the elements and stuff. And I went through one that opened my eyes, the Scorpio and Taurus axis. This thing opened my eyes. If you weren't enough, like, both of these energies are some of the most deep, passionate, loving energies on the planet. They're blessings. They are. But the dark side of these energies opened up my Chiron, the wounds that were needed to be healed inside of me. So I had to go through pain. I had to be around things and people and relationships that weren't comfortable. It wasn't me casting them to the side because they're not serving me or I'm not getting something out of the deal. It was supposed to happen. You understand? Like, love heals. You have to you have to clean the wounds to heal them. This stuff has to come out. You were fine when you were born. You got these traumas for a reason because your soul is trying to alchemize something. So I had to go through this weird, like, kind of sexual trauma thing. And then the next one was this weird kind of possessive. It's like a possessive resource. It was all like the dark side of this stuff. Resources and possessions and lifestyle and image. And over here, it's like, you know, it's all about just drama and weird sex stuff. And I could see the dark side of these things. But the loving side of it was good too. And these are all energies that are inside of us all. So don't start thinking I'm pointing out like the Scorpios and Taurus. All the shit's in all of our charts. I've got like Scorpio and Jupiter in the first house. So I do okay with Scorpio, actually. But some people don't. Some people have a different struggle. Anyways, I'm digressing here. So, anyways, my whole point is once we get into these triangles, this all has to do with like circling the square inside of us, which is cool because Jason's book shows all kinds of deeper like codes into this stuff too, it's amazing. So you got this symbol I'm going to show next. Let me see if I can pull this up. Eraser. Where's the eraser on this damn thing? So in Christianity, we learn about these baptisms. These baptisms are part of the mystery. They just are. Damn it. You see if they don't give me a red. Look at this ugly triangle. So let's just say this is the red masculine triangle, fire triangle. Okay. And then let's just put another one here. I'm sure a lot of you are already way ahead of me, but there's something I want to really discuss here. Damn, it's almost break time. God, that's ugly. All right. Masculine fire, feminine open. You can see it all. We've learned about it. But what is this story teaching us, right? There is a baptism that you'll go through that it's allegorically taught of water and fire. Both of them. The first two. When this actually happens, what's supposed to happen for us, and I think it's Luke chapter 22, like verses 10, 12, something like that. It says, "Behold, a man will meet you with a pitcher of water, and the large upper room will be furnished." It will be furnished. Your large upper room will be furnished. Wow, where's this at? Is it a literal man with a pitcher of water that I'm supposed to meet in the street? Like the horse that's supposed to fly down? And the land's supposed to flatten out? And you get where I'm going with this, right? And it even talks about the right side, the right hemisphere of the brain, the right side, the feminine side, the feminine thing. It's just waiting to be unlocked in there. Why do you think it is right now that we're at an all-time like intellectual stimulation? Like we're being intellectually stimulated to a point where we don't know what's what. There's people that's like, I don't trust anything. I don't know who I am. Take no thought. Do you know Christ says that in the Bible? I'm going mystic here, man. You guys want to talk about Bible stuff? It's big time now, right? So I'm going mystic here on you. You know why he says take no thought? Because as you go through these baptisms, it shows this in the ascension through the tree too. As you go through these baptisms and you get to this place, once you've opened your heart, you've dealt with all these elemental stuff, you've opened your heart, you've gone through the baptism of water and fire, and then you take no thought and you're open to receive. It's very hard to do. Meditation, right? We've got to get everything ready for our pineal glands to show us something. And Manly P. Hall talked about this. He said the endocrine system, it's not just the pineal gland, but that's the main one, right? He talks about that in the Bible too. I've seen the face of God. His name is Peniel. There's tons of codes that we can go through. Really cool stuff. We can do a million shows on this, and it's all going to tell different stuff. Oh shit, I didn't show the blue, look there, blue triangle. There you go. I have to keep hitting over, sorry. So when I start going back, and the only reason why I'm talking about this is because I had to go back to like when I started going through this stuff, because I was Christian, like 100% full-fledged, a study of the letter. I thought everything about that I was taught in Christianity was 100% legitimately real, even though this symbol of Solomon, there's no actual proof that David or Solomon ever existed. Ever. But that's not the point. This symbol goes back further than that. This is the holy, like, hexagram. It resembles these forces that come together, the bridegroom. You can look at it as the cross, if you want to do that, right? The straight up and down line is the masculine and the horizontal is the feminine. It's all there. Anyways, the point is, it's not about the symbols and understanding them. As things get revealed to us through revelation, while we're going through all this information overload and, oh, my emotions hurt so bad, I just listen to little videos that validate me. And if those videos don't, then I'll find people that just validate me and make me feel good. Like, I worry about the children nowadays, man. So when you see the man with the pitcher of water, go into the upper room and I'll meet you there. Cast your net to the right side to be fishers of men, right? If our hearts aren't open to everybody, to love, let's yourself and everybody. If we're not, and you don't even have to get all crazy about it. So Christ took all these beautiful mysteries in these books that we are taught. Or you can, if you want to look at like Hare Krishna, it's pretty much the exact same thing except 1,000 years before and all the names were changed. And I'm sure if we decode it, there's probably some cool stuff in there too. I'm betting. I'd bet money on it. But it's all the same thing. So when this happens, if we're not able to open our hearts to everybody, we're not going to understand the mystery of love. We're not even going to get close to it, man. Love is the mystery and is the most divine thing on this planet. It's only our human natures that keep us. Obviously, if you go back to the triangle and the square, right? If we're not balanced out, if we're not circling the square, if we're not making things balanced in our life so that we can be of better service, better lovers, our hearts are more open to receive. That's the divine feminine, is to receive. And actually the whole Kabbalah in the Western mysteries, the Kabbalah itself means to receive. But that even scares people. That even scares people. Well, what am I receiving? Am I receiving a divine demigod, or what if a demon comes inside me? Like, dude, come on. Like, do you not know like who you are yet? The whole point is to not learn, but remember. Think about that word, remember. Remember who you are in this deep state of amnesia. And know that none of this shit, these nursery rhymes, none of it has any power. And if just the mystics, this stuff was taught way before 2000, 2012. People were teaching like way better than what I'm saying. All kinds of like, the stories were so crazy and exact. And this is before you get into the numerological codes that Jason shows you in his book between, the earth, the sun, and the moon and all this stuff. How does it happen in that way? Well, something is trying to tell us that the only mystery that we need to be studying is that triangle and that square. And that if we get confused, if that's even confusing, then all you have to do is treat other people the way you want to be treated. And love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Now, here's the thing. If the kingdom of God is in man, inside you, and nobody gets to the Father without this Christ-like transformation, then that means we have to love everybody and everything. I know it sounds hard and crazy. With all our hearts, minds, and souls. Mystery solved. So where's the problem? What's all this pain on Facebook and these AI generating things that are just making everybody's pain just come out? Like, I got so betrayed, I got hurt. You know why the hurt happened in the first place? Because fear won, not love. Fear won. Happens. Part of the story. If you don't believe me that love is the biggest mystery, it's not. I know. I don't even think we're going to get to talk to aliens till we figure this out. But if you don't believe me that it's the biggest mystery, then why the hell does every movie that we have, every artistic thing that we put out lead to a love story? Even fucking John Wick is in a love story of 4 movies of murder, mayhem, and the coolest stuff I've ever seen. And the base of the story is love. And everyone's like, oh, it's beautiful. John Wick's a badass. And then we're back into the whole realms of how John Wick influenced us. And we want to be like John Wick, and we want to play the video game, and we want to, get into that vibe. Or we can go back to the Fast and Furious, or we can be meth cooks on Breaking Bad, or we can be bikers and Sons of Anarchy. Love stories in all those stories. The whole damn thing just went over our head. We missed the whole art of it all. They're all love stories. And it's crazy, right? Because a lot of women don't want to watch action movies, but they don't see the love story in the action movies. And a lot of guys don't want to sit back and watch The Notebook over and over again, but they don't see the action in the love story. They don't see the revelation of what's happening. How these people are fighting their deepest knowing feelings in their heart, refusing to open their heart, doing what everybody. Think about being that way back in like the 30s and the 20s. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have little 15-minute videos trying to influence us all the time. It was hard. Like, if someone left our life and went to another city or state, man, we'd have to go track them down. Might as well forget about it. I'm saying this to you, Gareth. Brother, I know you're afraid, but we love you, man. And if these stories are showing allegory, then how is this guy going to write a book and take all of these characters in these allegorical stories, twist the characters, and then tell you that they're running some kind of game on you, when they're not even real to begin with, in that sense of the word? I'm not saying a man that named Jesus didn't walk the earth. That's the ultimate divine revelation. How can a guy actually have a story that played out, but it also be a revelation, but it also be a numerological code, but it also be astrological, but that just doesn't make sense. It does when it's divine. It doesn't work with your polar brain, but divine truths work that way. They come out and correspond with everything, even life. I'm so annoyed with it's not people's pain, man. I emphasize with people's pain. I've felt it, man. I've been betrayed, backstabbed, cheated on, manipulated in every sense of the word. I could tell you all of my sob stories, all of them. I could have loved every single one of those people better if I was honest. I'm not blaming myself. I could have loved every one of them better. I could have loved myself better in the process. I could have loved everyone involved better in the process. What did I learn? What did I remember about me? But this story has been told over and over and over again. And not only that, they've made you become afraid of it. Oh man, it's Osiris, Isis, and Horus, or it's Father Mary and, the virgin birth of, oh man, she really got knocked up by a spirit. That's impossible. You're missing the point. The virgin birth is the receiving, it's the receiving of this energy. The Shekinah, the spirit, the divine feminine, the damn thing that's been hidden from you in dogmatic religion, in every single sense of the word. But because these stories are so profound and are deep within code and they're so divine, no matter how much they try to control it or hide things, the truth still comes out. If you look a little deeper, and that's what the word occult means, is to look deeper behind and inside something to find a deeper hidden meaning to things. It doesn't mean evil dark sorcerer in a tower with runes tattooed all over himself, sacrificing goats, trying to get Baphomet to come down here and kill you. Jesus, man. Like I'm getting to the point where I got to make it to 1,000 episodes. I got to make it to 1,000 episodes before I do something different. I love you. So why is that weird to people? Why are we protecting ourselves so much? You do one or two things, man. Like you got to get brave and like there's so much crap going on about dudes right now. This is why I think what Jim Gale did was beautiful. It's easy to act like a hard ass. It's not. Look, if you want to go out and make money, just go sell stuff and manipulate people and just you know how you make money? You sell a product as fast as you can, as high as you can before the market plateaus. That's how you make money. That's how people become millionaires, and you do whatever it takes to capitalize on it. It's not hard. That doesn't make you a man or not a man. The problem is you're afraid, right? So you got to go do all these things so that you become valuable, right? You have to do all these things first to become valuable, so you'll get selected out of a tribe because you're the alpha or whatever, and you're saying all this shit because you're afraid that if you're just you deep on the inside, and don't bullshit me, just if you're just who you actually are out in the open, well, they'll never see you that way. They'll never pick you. Maybe I should get more chiseled, take some take some extension pills and get my bank account bigger. After all, I'm just a source of energy. There's no unconditional love with humans. I don't trust humans. Remember? Damn it. I mean, go back to the freaking Lord of the Rings, and look what happened to Gollum. You want to be Gollum? Or you got that voice in your head all the time? They're going to hurt you. I'm your only friend. I'm here to protect you. Become the ultimate badass image. And those guys go cry in their therapist's laps or their mother's lap or their best friend's lap at the bar, but they're scared to be that way with a woman. And here's the thing, that little dot inside the yin yang symbol, that's all she deeply desires. But if you open up, she might lose her attraction to you and it won't be sexy anymore. You gotta stay sexy. I learned all this shit through this last axis I went. Possessions, money, finance, image, sexy, whatever. No, but you do deeply desire real love, right? Don't bullshit me. So you see that red triangle there? You have to rise up through the water and face that feminine energy in all its glory and still be yourself and open your heart all the way, or you're never going to have it. Like, I know this. I'm saying it because I know it now. You may not get the one you thought was right or whatever, but I promise you, it will vibrate things into your... You could become such a loving person that I don't understand why people don't understand the power of love. You can become such a loving person that it's almost impossible for someone not to see you as a catch and want to be around you. Naturally, when we get punched in the face, just like when we get punched in the heart, what do? We learn to dodge. We learn to bob and weave. We start learning how to protect ourselves. We don't stand there in front of the punch anymore. We become wiser. So we get to know people a little bit more. We slow down. If we really just use that energy and feelings the vampirism stuff wants to teach you, we would just be impulsive. We would just go seek validation all the time. This is what I need, validation from you, from you, from you, from you, from you, from you. Not getting it, so let me post something on the internet. That's the child inside you, craving love. Don't be ashamed of it. Look what it did for Jim Carrey. And stop talking shit about people. Like, this is another thing I can't stand is like, well, that person's out there trying to get attention. You know, they're trying to do this or that. I'm not that way. You wish you would do it, or else you wouldn't be talking about it. Everybody wants attention. You're all children of God. That's why the little kids are on the sun card. When you alchemize into your childlike energy and you're back to that child before the world kind of tainted you, you're just in a grown man's body, woman, whatever. Oh, that's unacceptable. No, it's not. Like, as an adult, you have responsibilities. A part of your divine responsibility is to be yourself at all costs. You can have everything your heart desires. Here's the weird thing, though. Here's what happens when we start going, we're missing the whole process, because I've been told that it doesn't matter anymore. It's old school teachings, right? We're not supposed to learn about the 4 elements of our nature so that we can be better lovers and better people and better things before we go into a relationship with ourselves and other people and alchemize and learn how to open our heart so that we can receive all of this starry energy that comes from the skies and that opens up, you know. That's not important anymore. What matters is that we write a sigil down and we do what's effective and what's practical so that we can have a better life, and so that we can experience as much pleasure and as much happiness as we can in the fastest way, in the fastest amount possible, as soon as possible, in the most effective way. And by the time you look up, you're 50, been through 4, 5, 6 relationships, and you still haven't opened your heart all the way. Or you did, and someone smashed it, and now you don't want to do it anymore. Or you're not going to love that person the way you love that person. You'll be damned, because you learned your lesson. I'll never give myself the way I did that person to that person. I'm so afraid that this person's going to be that person. And the fear taketh over and over. Like, it's like, God... And I mean it in the biggest sense of the word. It is goddamn. Duh. Welcome to hell. In all its beautiful allegory. The furthest from God you can be, causing your own suffering, torment, agony, gnashing of teeth, and hell and everything else. And you constantly reincarnate and keep refusing to open your heart and alchemize so that you can leave this prison planet. It's not about leaving. It's about getting the new name and coming into your higher self and remembering who you are and never forgetting again. Ever. And then the real work can begin. There's all kinds of work we're supposed to do outside of this, but we can't stop playing with our fears because it hurts. I have to shut off my phone. I'm sorry I went on this rant. Like, I just want to talk to people, man. But I have to shut off my damn phone. Like, I've literally, if you can ask the people that know me, I've shut off my cell phone. Well, number one, it's damn expensive. All of the cost that I pay for in this shack, I'm sacrificing everything for what I love and the people that I love. And I'll do it again in a heartbeat. Because I want to. Because I love you. I know it's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe some dude on the other side, he can't love me, he don't know me. I was born into love. It was the world that tainted it, man. It was everybody's fear and teachings of how to survive and thrive and do all these cool things in life. You know, like, you get it. I don't have to keep going. But I do want to go through what I know somehow on this show without being an asshole, because I can hear myself in my headphones right now. I sound like an asshole. I hate the way it sounds. When I'm pissed, I'm tired. You know? And sometimes, you know, anger, just like everybody's afraid to be angry. There's so much, and even when you get angry and it's healthy, no, you got to be stoic. Why? You should be angry. Remember that, right? Unchecked evil is weakness. It doesn't mean react and just be emotionally assholish and react and flip out all the time. Sometimes anger is good. Like, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's healthy. Sometimes it's not. It's all of these energies, man. Like, I'm not going to get into magic. I'm staying with the mysticism tonight. But all of these energies were put inside you for a reason, for this alchemical process, which of the laboratory is you. And I know I got to take a break, but you remember how Manly P. Hall said man is an inverted plant that will eventually return to the brain? What he's talking about is the rising through the four worlds, the baptisms and the rising through the four worlds of the physical earth, your lower nature that you have, that apparently you can't be, or otherwise you have no value, or your energy's off, into your emotional nature, into your spiritual nature, and then you go up and you take no thought into the world of intellect in this crazy illusional astral realm of all the scary stuff. You take, that's why you meditate, because you learn to take no thought, let it not affect you. And if all of this stuff lines up, remember, all the wisdom comes from the east. That's why we face the east. If everything's lined up and your heart is open and your mind is open and you're ready, bam. Enlightenment, kundalini, all that stuff. Sounds easy. But this whole thing is about love. It's just... Imagine what I would say, man, if I was smoking weed. This is why I don't smoke weed, because I would just go off and just be stupid. But I'm tired. Like, aren't you? If you're my age, you got to be tired, man. 6 cycles of 7. Truly, it's all about love. But it's fun to go over the intellectual. Like, I can go through verse after verse. I can do one a night and go through each little biblical story, read it to you, tell you like a deeper meaning of it, maybe even decipher some codes in it that will reveal all kinds of cool things. We could do that. It's fun. There's been many of like podcasters and hosts that have done it for years and years. My teachers that taught me this stuff, I already named their names. I don't know why we keep getting caught up in the fear, man. But I think maybe that's a part of the collective process. But Jesus, literally, that spirit needs to help us, because as we're moving into this, we're going through some kind of weird Pluto transformation right now. We've got to open our hearts. And if it starts to get too complicated, I can't believe I'm saying this, not Joe Roop, but just go to the Bible, man. What does he say? Treat other people the way you wanted to be treated, and love God. That's everything and all things with the kingdom, right? God is everything and all things and all people with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. And everything else, all this stuff that you're confused about, that you don't know who you are, what to say, how to act, are people going to like me? Shit, I don't know. Just do those things. And you have control over nothing else. And I promise you, the ripple effect that you'll make on people's lives, regardless if they treat you good, bad, ugly, or whatever, and the ripple effect that they're going to have on your life is going to be exactly what it is. It's just like still a journey of love. And Gareth, if you decipher some of these mysteries enough, you'll start to realize, how can, the Grinch be up there in Orion trying to trick everybody and suck your souls and all this stuff when it's allegory and code to begin with? It's just consciousness. It's just angles of light. It's just photons, dude. Photons. I've been obsessing over this ever since you contacted me. It's light. You mean Luciferian light? Well, that's part of the myth too. It's in there. Lucifer, Satan, oh God, Baphomet. These things, when you realize, like Elvis Levi talks about these things too, once you really realize what's really going on, all this shit, that fear is the enemy. Fear is what is expansive and makes everything crazy. That's why people have panic attacks on, on agoraphobia and stuff. That's the only power. The characters themselves that you're all afraid of are nothing. They're like this to you, who you really are. Nothing. You made them. After all, like little clay pigeons. Hey, support the show if you guys can, please. We need your support right now. And listen, there's also, I gotta say this real quick. If you only got a couple of bucks, I made it to where you can get the ad-free shows for like $2. You just got to go on Spreaker and find the Supporters Club. It's $2. That's it.
Immensely strong material forces. We do not dominate these forces, they dominate us. Life on Earth is getting more and more complicated every generation. There's no room for the inner life.
Back to work, separating grassroots from astroturf. As half-truths they tried to pass off as facts emerge. Keep me tethered to the ground, bring me back to earth. When I blast off and take my place in the galactic church, I'm trying to grasp light and dark's vacillations. In the white room with black curtains at the station. Cream makes the world spin like dervishes and Daytons. It leads men astray into the serpent's machinations. With strictures and cave wall flicks to hypnotize, I eat my daily tripe with bare hands, it's undignified. The mantra in the cloven tongue of mammoths like nails on a chalkboard inside the stomach of a white whale. Eyes popping out the sockets, watching profits line pockets, and the price of bought and sold souls skyrocket. Walk a road, rob with skulls, not with gold, fraught with signs, roadblocks, and obstacles that defy logic. Life's a package deal. You take the beautiful days with dark nights and dance with Maya in the starlight. It's alright. We wax and we wane. There's wildflowers growing from the cracks in my brain. Dry your eyes, revitalize, alive and well, practicing my aim by a grave of fireflies that felt like Simon Magus from the sky and hit the ground.
What do you think is falling down?
Down. Right as rain falls, sent to pacify the violent flames, hydroplaned on
new and improved chocolate chip cookies. Cookies just like the ones Grandma would have made if only she had 23 types of preservatives and 37 wholesome artificial flavors.
Bumper stickers are a fun side hustle with low-cost investment that has built-in advertising to attract local customers in parking lots, rallies, gatherings, conventions, venues, and more. You could potentially sell these bumper stickers on consignment to local businesses, tattoo parlors, head shops, or any other independently owned store that might gear toward the fringe. Bumper stickers are great gift-giving ideas for friends and family. Also, a way to wake up your fellow travelers on the path without having to waste energy in tiresome debates. No car? No problem. Bumper stickers will stick to just about anything with a semi-smooth surface. Go to www.justbsme.com and get your bumper stickers today.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what
God,
everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Whoa, awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Have you ever wondered, what do the stars say for me? Or, will the next month or the next year be more favorable? How about, are our two signs compatible? Each month, at the new moon, you can ask these questions live with me, your astrologer psychic, Mary DeCina, along with host of Lighting the Void, Joe Root. Join us at the new moon for Cosmic Conditions. We look forward to working with your energy.
Every new moon at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fringe FM.
I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to The Fringe FM.
You're listening to Lighting the Void Radio.
To Lighting the Void here live on the Fringe FM. That's fringe.fm. So we're getting around towards the end of the month. So if you guys can help reach our goal, I think all we got left is the website. Obviously, if we get more support, we'll get the app back and the phones and stuff. But just the website, the hosting and stuff is what's coming up for that. And we love the station because the station, someone asked, who's that artist? That artist is a badass hip, and you guys don't ever hear me listen to like hip hop much unless it's like that. I like kind of authentic hip hop, and I learned about who that was from reading Anthony Tyler's book because he came in contact with this guy named Decca, and he talked a lot about the artist Decca, who's expressing himself right through his art, which is a form of opening your heart, right? It's a higher divine thing. And he's an independent artist that's on the internet. You can just type in Decca, DECA, and you'll listen to all, you'll be able to Listen to all those tracks, man. You could just cruise and listen to those tracks, and they're amazing. Oh, thanks for the 1999, Michael, and the 5. I think that was from Hound Dog. Thank you. That has a $100 threshold, so we don't even get that until it hits that. But that puts us at like 55, 75, yeah. So 25 more, and they'll release it. It's like Facebook, not Facebook, but it's like YouTube. It's like, yeah, you gotta make at least $100, or we're just gonna hold everybody's money. What kind of shit is that? Give their money back, man. But it's cool, I guess, if you get to that point where you're streaming and you hit it all the time, right? So I turned it on so you guys can use it. It's easy. You can donate that way too. Thank you. So back to what I was talking about. So when you hear things like we're plants or whatever, Manly P. Hall's talking about this because the seed has been planted inside of us. And this is why when you get into the tarot, I'm moving back into the occult and magic again, but the aces are the seeds, are also the thrones, but also been called the seeds, seed of fire, and or seed of water, or all this stuff. They're the seeds, and they're also the thrones, and the princesses that correspond with Earth sit on the throne. The whole story is inside the tarot. The magical mystery of the Sphinx is all inside those tarot cards, and I've got to catch up on those videos. I've got a tarot reading I've got to do. I've stopped this tarot reading twice I know you're listening, and you know who you are, because this stuff is interfering with me. I'm allowing it to interfere with me, because the fear that I'm battling is that we're not going to get this. I have no control over it other than to express myself, and that's all I can do. Just like all you can do is open your heart and let go. Surrendering to that is a very scary thing. Do you know why the marriage is sacred? Do you know why they kind of made it? Like they turned this bridegroom, the whole idea of marriage has been flipped on its head. It's been desecrated, but the whole idea was meant to be a beautiful thing. You surrender, you open your heart, you give the divine ring, the circle. Will you marry me? You tell the divine feminine or that person where the two souls become one. It's just it's a ritual, but it's not a ritual in a way that's supposed to be scary or evil. But the second, you start signing contracts and stuff, you've put other energies into it. I'm not saying they're bad energies. You've just put Saturn into it now because you're signing contracts and making it all legal. Okay, whatever. That doesn't take away from the sacred part of it, but it does distract a little bit, doesn't it? But at that point, you have to, the whole ritual is surrendering to the feminine. Because once you ask, she could say no. You're on your knees. You remember that thing in the, God forgive me, the man that beats on his chest, right? I'm a sinner. Like he's surrendering to the divine help. This is mysticism. The will is taught through the elements. The surrendering is taught through alchemy as all this process happens, but you have no more control. You have to open your heart and let it come in, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. I've opened I'm sure I'm not the only serial monogamist here, but every person that I've been in a relationship with, I've been faithful and loyal to. Devotion is my thing. Like if I love somebody, it doesn't make me not an alpha or less of a man. Matter of fact, I think I'm pretty sexy because I can open my heart and still smack people around when I need to. I'm not worried about being man enough because I know I am. I was born a male. I've experienced, ass kickings, getting my ass kicked enough, but also ass kickings. I've experienced lots of masculine things. I don't need to prove it. What I need to do is open my heart and surrender and let go. This is why it's like a big deal. Like it's the happiest moment for a man or the masculine energy when he surrenders to the divine feminine, which is in like the earth, we ritualize things just like we do art and we do all this other stuff that represents bigger divine things because we're remembering who we are and what this is all about. But yeah, things interfere, and the economy and your image and your status and what everybody else thinks and all the stuff, it starts to put little holes and blocks in there, and people getting all up in your business. Hey, that's part of it. You got to deal with it. But if it was meant to be, it will be. If your heart is open and their heart's open and that connection's there, you're more than likely you're going to get a yes. But you might not. And that's the beauty of it. And this is I think Liam Thomas Christopher did this. He said the whole idea of I guess I have to talk about magic. The magical process of things is our desires burn us up. That's what the devil card shows. We become slaves to the lust for results. We have to have our results. We have to manipulate, or we have to coerce. We have to do whatever we got to do to get our results that we need that end up enslaving us, because it's not love. Love is a surrender. So the masculine side of that yin-yang symbol has to surrender to that little circle in there. The scariest part for him. The scariest part for a man, I hope women know this, is opening up. So most of the time, if a man is opening up to you and he's a masculine guy and he's opening up to you, that's scary for them. If they're an adult. It's not really scary when you're young and you have like the puppy love stuff. But as you get older and you start protecting yourself, it becomes scarier, right? Because now you've been hurt and you're protecting your wounds. It's a massively big deal for a dude. And I'm sure it's just the opposite for a woman. When she gets to open that little, be feminine, right? But also she gets to decide, am I going to love this man for the rest of my life? I'm going to because most women truly know, right? Like, especially a feminine woman, even feminine men, I don't care, whatever. Feminine. They truly know how much love they have to offer. They know how much is in there. So they got to be, it's a little selective. Sometimes. It's okay. But I don't see this on, this is my point. Back to the beginning. I don't see any of this stuff, man. All I see is everybody's pain and memes, and I learned this lesson, and I'll never do that again, and all the, I got betrayed and backstabbed, and, I'm high value. I'm making sure that by memeing this stuff every day, everybody knows how valuable I am. You should look in the mirror every day until you know you're valuable. You should treat other people. It's weird how this works. As within, so without. You start treating other people as they're valuable, you'll find that not everybody's going to treat you that like you're valuable, if that's the way you want to look at it. Your value, like you're a gold bar or something, right? But it just naturally starts happening. Love is just as powerful, if not way more than fear. If you wasn't so damn afraid of it. Pain is a part of it. So one of these days, I'm thinking about doing this, but I need you guys' feedback, and I guess I'll do a poll on YouTube or something, right? And ask if you guys actually want to go through some of this stuff again, because I can just point you to people on YouTube that can reveal all this stuff. But if y'all want to talk about it with each other, we can. But I'm hoping we'll get to this point. It's all right, now we see this process of the mysteries, this vortex spiraling thing, 369, we understand manifestation. And spirituality is all moved to how's it going to manifest on earth? Because after all, I'm here on the earth. Yeah, for a limited amount of time, you're here on the earth. Very short time, as a matter of fact. To do what exactly? And I think some people, I can't say, and I'll just be honest with you, that I've had a full blown, I've came close, really close, once on my own and once with another person, like a full-blown Kundalini experience. But it's like that's the cool thing in the spiritual movement, and people brag about, well, when I had my Kundalini experience and I did this, and that's like, man, if you did, keep it sacred. You know, like, why are you bragging about it? I don't get it, man. Like, but anyways, I've come pretty close, and it wasn't. Something was blocked. Something wasn't worked out. The alchemy wasn't there. Something didn't happen. It doesn't mean like you stop loving or whatever. So the reason why we do the moon and the sun and the stars is so because these steps work in order. The process happens. The opening happens in the correct fashion to receive this, right? We can't skip steps, or we can't just focus on what we're going to manifest practically on the earth all the time, even though that's a part of it. That all that does is reveal or help you remember who you are. But even once you get past that, and I have in my life, I've had it all. I've had nothing. I've had it all. I've had nothing. It gets down to me, at least for me. It's not about that. For me, it's about love and the people in my life. We can build temples and whatever around it, but if the love isn't there, you have no foundation. It's not going to work. You're wasting your time. You'll have an experience, and then it will come crashing down. Tarot teaches you this too. You built your temple, or you built your house on rocky soil. Or whatever. There's that allegory, you know. We can really pick these things apart and reveal just how divine all this stuff is. And then once we get done with every chapter of the Bible and all the verses, then we'll go 1,000 years before that, and we can get into the Hare Krishna stuff, and then we'll go deeper. And this is just the allegory. This isn't the biology, the very secrets of even deeper truths. When divine revelation happens, like I said, it can spit out one thing and it goes all the way down to the number. And you got 7 different things happening, but they're all true. And once you can see that, then you'll see how powerful the Creator really is. Right? But anyways, I hate doing single shows. Let's see. Let's go to the chat. Who's here tonight? Karma's here. I'm starting at the top. I know Michael's here. I know Hound Dog's here. You can call in too if you want to chime in. Have you guys seen the clip of 2 men starting a car battery from mirror touching it? No, I haven't seen that. You should drop those clips in the chat. So the conspiracy theory is ? What's wrong with removing people who suck the life out of you? Nothing. But you should do it in love, in love. You don't have to damage people more to, like, everybody deserves your truth. Just give them all your love that you can. Love them from afar. Give them the most closure that you can and move on with your life. You have to. So here's the thing. When you use all these 4 elements and you come into relation with people, if you're unlocking these things properly, then you'll see the balance, you know, or the imbalance of a person. Just like people will see the imbalance of you if they're aware of these things, if they're doing the work. And there's a way to lovingly let people go in the deepest amount of respect possible. But that's not what's happening. We're not treating each other like divine beings. We're treating each other like we're just a bunch of backstabbing, betraying, backstabber pieces of shit because they backstabbed me. You know why they backstabbed you and did all this other stuff? Because they're in pain and fear. So I would say this, what you say to those people is like, I don't know what happened. If I've hurt you, I'm sorry. I don't know who or what hurt you before you came into my life. And I know it wasn't fair. And I love you. And usually girls are really good at this stuff. I love you as a person. And they mean it when they say it. Most of the time. I love you as a person. But there's just some things that I cannot help you with. This is the divine feminine at play. So if you're a woman, don't be ashamed of it. but do it. Take your feminine power that you have, that God has given you, and hold it close to your heart in the most responsible fashion when you're dealing with people. You ever see like women deal with animals? Do they deal with people the same way? Even if they're petting an animal and letting it go. Why? You're powerful. Just like Sia says in her song. I mean, in the beginning of her song, she's like, well, I'm going to put my walls up. But then she starts singing about how powerful she is. You were powerful before you got hurt. Have you guys seen the clip of, oh yeah, I already read that one. We are a vibration or a wave, up, down, forever. Hell yeah, we are. Yeah, the skill of letting go. Yeah, just, so let's say you meet someone that has abandonment issues. If you abandon them, and I've done this to people too because I got so fed up with it, and then learned my lesson. Here's the irony of it, right? Learned my lesson, tried to love them even more, been more empathetic. We've all been there. Thinking if we just love more and more and more, it'll come around. They'll see the positive side. They won't give in to their fears all the time. But that's not true. They're not ready to surrender to it. Yeah, they're not, or they don't feel what you're feeling or whatever, but you have to let it go. You can love people that don't love you the same, but don't be afraid to say it because you got too much pride. It's sad that you don't love me the same way I love you. I really love you. I'll always be here for you. Bye-bye. Mean it. Like, if you don't mean it, don't say it. But you see, like, there's too much of this, like, protection from narcissism, protection, empath, like, all this psychological classifications of stuff going on when all you have to do is just treat people the way you want to be treated, even if they're not treating you right. And I've lost my shit on people, man. Don't get me wrong. Like I've felt so disrespected and crapped on and stuff where I felt like I had to get, like the anger itself felt righteous. But it wouldn't have got to that point in the beginning if I was loving myself and everybody involved way more. If I was just doing the golden rule, it wouldn't have got to that point. The transactional model of life relationships. Yeah, there you go. Who said that? Maria? Yeah, that's it. I saw that, like, it's another meme that popped up, just like Meme City. You found the right woman when they're with you. Even it was like, you have the right woman if you're a man, if you have nothing and they're still there for you. And you found the right man if you're a woman, if they have everything and they're still there for you. Right? That's what it said. And I'm reading this thing. It's like, that's what it's come down to now. It's all about what we have in our possessions. It's not that we're taking this journey together. It's what do we have? What lifestyle are you giving me? You have to realize through the mind virus of things that's been how you've been programmed. You're not biologically programmed to be that way. You need to get on with the new science. Science has evolved, and there is stuff all about eugenics, epi-eugenics, and stuff that shows you that it's not really what Darwin's trying to tell you, even though there's some people that harp on that. Your DNA strands and everything about you, including all the nerve centers and everything about you is programmable. So if you are raised in a society where it's get a job, go to college, make sure this guy has good status and and the guy's been programmed the same way, make sure they're this, make sure they're perfect, make sure they're wholesome, make sure they're this and that. No, it's Darwin that's doing that. It's Darwin. It's the economy. It's the dollar that's doing that. It's not spirit. It's the earth element trying to take care of itself. It's the shells, the tree from below, making sure that it does its part to keep the earth in Middle Earth. Who said that? And whatever comes of this realm is an incredible opportunity to face yourself in the most intimate ways. Hell yeah, brother. Good saying. $5 from Hound Dog. My brother. What I'm frustrated and truly upset about is that we are not privy to the true reality of this realm. That's done on purpose. but it's there. If you'll just keep digging, man. How bad do you want to know the truth? How bad do you want to know? Every time something gets revealed to you, there's going to be a deeper revelation that happens too. It's manipulation, and I think tank, oligarch, top-down control. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it is. What if the source is not reality? I don't know. What if it's not? You know, when you're in a dream, you're in a full-fledged dream. A lot of times, your consciousness just moves from one place to the next. Your body, you're just a consciousness in a body. So once it leaves the body in your sleep and goes into this dream world, 9 times out of 10, you don't even know that you're not in reality until you wake up. Now I'm in reality. Oh, this is reality. No, you're just back in your conscious vehicle on planet Earth. You're still that same conscious experience. It's kind of crazy, too, when you catch yourself in a dream. You don't know where it began or anything, but your consciousness and your heart and who you are and everything about you is still dealing with the scenario that's around you in this moment. Even if it's fucking crazy, it's you that's dealing with it. And the chaos of the astral realm and the chaos of the dream world and chaos itself will show you just how beautiful life really is. That we get to be in these bodies, even though it feels like a prison a lot of times, to kind of slow down and remember and work this stuff out and get to sense things and touch things and see the ripple effect of our actions and stuff. So that when we go back into the thought world, we can learn to surrender and let go and be still. Take no thought. Why? Unless you just want to. Unless you want to play around in there, which I do sometimes. I'm getting off TikTok. My vids are on YouTube. Yeah. No, you don't. TikTok is kind of, I don't know much about it. I haven't done any videos on it. But yeah, I'm just frustrated with it. That's all the reason why I went on this spill. I'm just frustrated with it. I get sick of the bullshit of, love is a simple thing, man. It's so freaking simple. We love our animals. We can love our animals way better than we do humans. And animals are narcissistic and they want attention and they want constant love. And they're always begging and wanting things and taking up your energy and probably not serving you all the time unless, you get frustrated with your animals, right? But you love them just like they're your own children. And yet as soon as a human comes your way, oh shit, now it's transactional. Is this going to be worth my time? What happened to the teachings of all these beautiful religions and the mysteries of them? Is this some kind of archon or demon? Like Smeagol, is this thing here to hurt me? What's up, word salad? Anyways, so a sad thing happened today. As I wrap this up, I'm just going to tell one. I got mad at the chicken. I got mad at the chicken because she wasn't laying eggs, I thought, until I went into the shop looking for a tool, and I opened one of the cabinet doors, and behold, there's 60 to 70 eggs just rolling around in there. So she moved from one place to the next. And when we try to build her a pen, she won't get in it. Then we went and cut down this tree, big ass tree, because we're afraid it's going to hit the power lines. And we couldn't, it was such a pain in the ass. We couldn't get it down until right before all the traffic starts coming. And I'm on the tractor pulling on this thing, backing up, trying to pull on it. And we're taking turns cutting it and sawing on this thing, trying to get it to come down. And these cars are just waiting. We hope it don't hit a power line. We're trying to guide it down. And that's not even the sad part. Once I got all the tree and debris off the road and everything, I knew, I had a bad feeling. I had a bad feeling from the beginning, man. As soon as I saw those woodpeckers on that tree, I was like, God, man. When that tree smacked the ground, I found a little squirrel nest in there, like, oh God, like the squirrels had made a perfect nest inside this dead tree, like right in the middle of it. And there was a baby in there. And like my heart just was like, bleh, you know, because the baby squirrel was just like all curled up and its little tail it's just dead. Because we got to get the tree down, man. Like, I've just been angry at everything lately, honestly. Maybe it's a lot of Mars energy. We got to get this tree down because if it cuts out or hits the power line and cuts out our internet, then we might shut off our supply to our, you know, whatever chances we got of making any money so that we can survive. And this squirrel, this baby squirrel is in there, probably went back inside the tree, scared shitless because of the sawing sounds. At least it didn't suffer, you know. I wanted to plan it out. See, this is why you got to like not be impulsive and plan things out. Could have went out there and made sure there was no animals, but nope. It's like sometimes I feel like we're a freaking virus. We can be. Our lower natures, we can just be like a virus sometimes. It just hordes through shit, you know. We can be bastards as humans. Even when we're not trying to be. We just, I don't know. Yeah, the chicken, I was like, what the? Yeah, Karma, I was like, what the? Why is this? I'm thinking, why are you even here? You're not laying eggs anymore. We're still feeding the chicken. Barb sent like 2 bags of food to feed the chicken. And then I went back in there and looked for a tool, and there were I've never seen that many freaking eggs in my life. It was such a great symbol. Egg. Okay. Thanks for your support. If you guys can support, please do so. We got to pay the Fringe FM bill for you guys that did support tonight. Thank you. That's going to go towards the fringe.fm. We're trying to get more independent artists on there. I'll tell you, like, if you like that hip hop group, Bryce, like, look up Deca, DECA. Anthony Tyler talks a lot about him too. This is like bringing hip hop back to the OG thing. I love it. I love all the stuff he raps about, you know. And then we're bringing some more artists too like that. I'm looking for more musical artists that are independent. It doesn't matter, as long as it's not like slow country or something, maybe, but it doesn't matter what kind of music you're doing. If it's kind of fringy and you're independent and you want us to play it on the station, hit us up. I don't know how many more raves I can play on the station, or Rick Astley or Cake, you know. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to get some sleep, and we'll get some guests on. I had to reschedule RN Voot, so I have no idea what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But I will do a poll tonight to see if you guys, because if you guys want to go through like the mystical stuff and just decode all these, see how cool it really is, we can go down that road. But I have to space it out. I know I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? Oh, you can grab a t-shirt. The website's still up, so you can grab a t-shirt. Look, if the t-shirts don't go through, it's probably because Barney checked this and had other couple of people check it, and I did a test check. Like, make sure you send your pictures too if you get one. But it's probably because you put something in wrong, whether it's a zip code or something. Something didn't go through for some reason, or, you know, there's Stripe, there's PayPal, there's Google Pay, there's all kinds of different ways you can do it. But I guess I'll have to, I'm going to try to make this easier. I'm always going to try to make things easier as much as possible. And, yeah. That, you can donate there. We have actual radio services there too. I got all kinds of stuff I got to do, man. We need help. You want to help the station? You want to be a part of it? Hit me up. Man, we need help. We just need to turn this thing into like a co-op. You know, we have like 12 to 15 people who have like ownership, and they all got little jobs, and we just turn it into like this big rock and roll thing. That's always been kind of my dream. I'm always going to play with it. Thank you for listening to Lighting the Void here live on the Fringe FM. I love hanging out with you guys each and every night here. It's a beautiful thing for me. And you can hit me up at producer@fringe.fm. You can call the station or leave a voicemail at 501-777-5631. Night night, y'all. Sweet dreams. especially you, Dennis. Sweet dreams, brother.
Go ahead, you take